Hello and welcome to the Flock Podcast, which is a little bit of everything brought to you by the Flocking Network. Tonight we have Flocker Derek on, and we're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, kind of stemming from 369 and the universe and energy and all that. So if you like what you hear and you dig the vibe, and you want to support the flock, make sure you click the clickables to the Buy Me a Coffee. From there, you can sign up for a membership, leave a donation, get some flocking merch. And if you want to be on the Flocking Podcast, there is a link for that as well. You'll find all that in the show notes. And you'll also find Derek's handle on TikTok. And I'm going to put your backup in there too. We did talk about that. So with that being said, hello, everyone, and welcome to the, I see y'all coming in here. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Oh, damn. Everybody is here tonight. So hi. I'm so excited to have you on. And I was talking about this in my live the other morning. I was so pissed at myself that I did not record our sound check because we had a really good conversation and like shit was just like, and we talked for like an hour. I'm like, damn, we should have fucking recorded that. Like
I know, right?
We touched on a lot of subjects, but I'm excited for tonight.
Well, that was just a warm up, right?
Right. So you sent me a whole bunch of stuff, and so we're there's a lot that we could talk about, and this could probably be like a multiple series episode live. But
yeah, I was kind of thinking just starting with the vortex math, like the base 9. You know what I mean? Just like kind of the basics.
Okay, so what the fuck is vortex math?
So, what Nikola Tesla talks about, like the secrets to the universe and 369. It's based off of vortex math. It's a root system of, there's only 9 root numbers because once you get to 10, you break down to 1. 11 is 1 and 1 is 2. 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3. So it's called base 10 mathematics.
Okay.
Like there's only really 9 numbers because 0 is the universe or eternity, however you want to look at that. But they say like binary code, there's only 1s and 0s. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it is. It gets to 9 and then it starts back over 1, 2, and every number can break down. So in the vortex, like where 12 would be on a clock is the 9. That's where it ends.
And you sent me this, so let's get this pulled up here so that we got visuals for y'all tonight. We did all the things, and I can even I think I can even like zoom in on this. There we go. Look at that.
Yep.
Okay, so you're talking right here where the 12 is on a clock is actually the 9.
Yep. And then and it correlates with a circle because a circle is 360 degrees. So you see 3 plus 6, that's 9. If you go down to the 3, that's 120 degrees. 1 plus 2 is 3.
Oh my God.
And then if you go to the 6, that's 240 degrees of that circle. 2 plus 4 is 6. And so everything, so this is where like, this is also to me proves like the stationary Earth, because everything like the zodiac, the constellations, your birth chart, everything is based off of the circle.
Right.
And it being stationary. So like when you get your birth chart, your natal chart, like the Earth isn't taken in consideration because it's not orbiting, it's not moving, it doesn't affect any other planets. All of those planets are above Earth. That's stationary. Anyways, that's another topic. But in vortex math, it's doubling. So at 1, you go to 2. It's kind of like Fibonacci sequence a little bit,
right?
But it's just addition. So then 2 doubled is 4. 4 doubled is 8. 8 doubled is 16. So this is the first one breakdown. 1 and 6 is now 7.
Okay. We went here. Okay.
Yep. And then so 7 doubled is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 doubled is 10. 1, that breaks down to 1. That's an infinite pattern. Will go on forever and always.
Okay.
The only thing it doesn't touch is the 3, the 6, and the 9. So he also says 9 is everything and nothing. So if you add up 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you get 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. If you add the 9, now you get 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. But 9 is the only digit that does this. So if you double 3, 3 goes to 6. If you double 6, it goes to 12. 1 and 2 is 3. So the 3 and the 6 can switch back and forth. but the
Is
9 but the 9 will never be involved.
So is this like my brain is just like the thought pattern that just like ran across my brain real quick was I remember doing like basic like multiplication tables and like flashcards in school, right? And it was always like how I remember my 9 times tables is like you're always adding. So like if you're doing like 9 times 2 is 27 because 2 and 7 is 9 and it only works with 9.
Yep,
So same
exactly.
concept.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So 9 is so like 8 is physical, like with the numbers, 8 is physical completion. 9 is divine completion. It's like that God element, the ether, the thing that is added that you just can't explain. And you're exactly right. So if you do like if you do this table and you keep going around and around in the circle,
You're just going to forever keep
then
bouncing.
yeah, and there's a pattern. It's a pattern that'll just keep going, as in like that's where like Fibonacci this and the flower of life is spiral. It'll just keep going.
Kind of like those what are they like this is it the stenographs where you're just like you make
The
the
spiral graph. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
spirograph. Yeah. Do you remember those? It's like
Yes,
I'm on spirograph TikTok and it's fucking
that is
mesmerizing.
that is what we live in. We live in a spiral graph. Like those maps. That's like episode. Maybe that's maybe like a whole nother series too.
Are we jumping to level 72?
Yeah, yeah. That's like the whole joke with the Freemason, the compass.
18, 18, not 27. That's 3. Thank you guys for pointing out. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so pretty. I know.
But so 9.
You knew what I was talking about.
If you take 9 and you add a number, no matter what number you add, you'll get the same number back. So 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 9 plus 3 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. But if you multiply 9 times any number, you get a root of 9. So 9 times 6, 9 times 4, 9 times 2, 18, 1 and 8 is 9. So like 9 is the floating number that it's like water. It retains information. It can be whatever it wants to be. You following me here?
Yeah, it's just a lot of numbers that I'm trying to do in my head. Yeah. And then I fucked up the 9 times 2 is 18, not 27, because that's 3. So I'm still stuck on that, but we're good. Let's just,
so you know the torus field though. I heard you talk, the torus. So this is a mathematical representation of the torus field. This is what goes on in the torus field. So like the triangle, the pyramid, that would be the hyperbola. That's the thing in the middle. The 3, the 6, and the 9, that is what makes up like matter, a dielectricity, electricity, and magnetism. And then you have the 6. Well, the 6 is a lot of things. Anything like earthly bound, like carbon based, like it's 6. But that pyramid that's formed in the middle, the 3, 6, and 9, it's an equilateral triangle. So all of the degrees are 60 degrees. So that's 6, 6, 6 in the middle of this. And that is your element for fire. That is your symbol for male. And then the upside down triangle is water or female. So this is the middle of the torus field. This is the spark of creation. So if you look at 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, it makes a figure 8, the infinity sign. And it's also like the fallopian tubes of the woman, the uterus. This is the womb. And the pyramid is the phallic, so like this is the torus field is everything. It's creation, it's the middle, the atom, it's our physical existence. And the vortex math is a representation of that. And the reason why I came up with that is because like cellular mitosis, when you're first like born, you're one cell. Then one cell goes to 2 cells, 2 cells goes to 4. 4 cells goes to 8, and then 8 cells goes to 16, so forth and so on. So the same thing that happens within your body, like inside of your body, is the same thing that happens in this pattern.
That's wild. I've done this research and I understand how that works, but having it explained in like a completely different way, like we're getting to the same point. It's just you came this way and I came this way at it, and it's super interesting to be able to almost like back up again and relearn it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I started like at the end and worked my way backwards, and like I was figuring out things like that I didn't know at the time. Like I knew more about the zodiac than like alchemy and the elements. And like I've always been good with numbers. But then 369 is in my birthday. Like it just when I first heard 369, everybody started talking about it. I'm like, well, whoop de shit. Like, what's it mean? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean? Like I want to know the deepness of it. But if you lay the zodiac on it, like the 12 around it, like the 12 houses of the zodiac shine through this, like in your spark of creation.
Didn't you send me something with that in it?
Yep.
Where was it? Don't look yet. Hold on. Where was it? You sent me something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, was it at the
It's
beginning?
probably at the beginning, yeah.
Shit, I went the wrong direction. You guys weren't supposed. I should have stopped.
So there it
Damn
is.
it.
Yeah.
Should've went the
Like
other
the
way.
star, if you see the Star of David, that's where it comes from. That's male and female uniting together.
Where are you looking?
At the bottom of that page.
Oh.
The two triangles, the Star
Right
of
here.
David. So that is that's where it comes from. That's male and female uniting. That's the fire and water element combining together. But
and then this is just that other chart split apart.
Yeah, yep. And then so in that pattern, like you'll never have 3, 6, and you'll never touch 3, 6, or 9. So then I laid the zodiac because you have 10, 11, and 12, and there's a reason why they push that 11, 12, 13. Like it doesn't break down because you have the 12 zodiacs, and it goes and it will wrap around. Well, all of those energies affect us. That's what a natal chart is all about. And so when I placed that and I started like Adam Kadmon, the Aries is at the top, and then you wrap around to the feet with Pisces. Well, the 3, the 6, and the 9 is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, all 3 fire signs. Pyramid directly translates to fire in the middle. And so with the zodiac, the 12, you have Aries, the head, you have Leo, the heart, the lion heart, the fire. And then you have
Hold on, where's the heart? Oh, okay, right here.
That's the 6. And then the 3 over on the right side, Sagittarius, that's the 3rd fire sign. And that's where you store your sexual energy, is in your right hip of Sagittarius. And so all of this is like the 3, 6, and 9 is just the basics of the inside of that Taurus field. So this is just it's a 2D representation in math, but at the same time, these numbers or that it's spinning, it's vibrating and pulsating and spinning, toroidally in a circle.
Right.
So with the elements, you have 3 fire, 3 water, 3 earth, and 3 air. And then so you're in the womb for 10 months, when you're having a baby, you're in the womb for 10 months. So it's like those last 2 months, there's something there that it's either changed in our DNA, or there's something there we're supposed to turn on to turn our DNA like in the full 12. Because, if it doesn't really make sense, if everything acts in a 12ness, a sine wave, and works in a 12ness, our DNA in a 12ness, why we're only in the womb for 10 months, and we're even less than that, with the doctors and hospitals, how they, push you to have a baby sooner than later.
Right.
But this is how the 12 interacts with creation. So that egg of life, that seed of life, that is your first 8 cells of your body, like when you're born, like your umbilical cord, your first 8 cells, they always will stay with you. Other cells will die and diminish and regrow, but those first 8 cells will always stay with you. Well, in the seed of life, the circle, and then there's another circle, and then another circle. It's not the seed of life until you draw the final big circle around it, which is the 8th circle. And
because that keeps everything there.
Because that keeps everything, and that's what an atom is. That is what a molecule.
You sent me that.
That right there. Yep. And so this is also the spoken word. This is the lotus flower blooming. If you see like this middle center dot, that's if you just have a circle with a center dot in the middle, That is the alchemical sign for the sun. And it's also in Hindu the sign for Om, like Om when
Mhm.
you're chanting. It's primordial creation, just a circle with a dot. Well, that dot is the dielectric like source creation, the black hole, if you will, and everything stems out from that. But when you draw that final circle around, it makes this. But that is like that's the inside of an apple. If you cut it open,
Mhm.
those Vesica Pisces are the seeds.
Yeah,
But
this is
what's
I mean,
unique,
this is everything.
yeah, 100%, yeah. And then in Genesis, the sun and the moon are created on the fourth day. You don't make your first Vesica Pisces until you draw your fourth circle. So this seed of life is what Genesis is talking about in a very allegorical way.
So this question, but every 10 years our cells renew. So is it the others except these first 8?
Yeah, I think that's what like your belly button. Maybe it's somewhere like in your original like your solar plexus.
That would make sense because I've been seeing a lot of like random shit on like healing from your belly button. Like there's certain things that you can like put inside your belly button that like cure
Yeah,
all sorts of wild, and I'm like, that makes
yeah.
sense. Like that
Like
makes
castor
complete fucking
oil.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just imagine if they let you leave the umbilical cord hooked up to the baby longer, but they push you to cut it. Well, it's because all the nutrients are in that, right? I mean, if you can leave them connected for a much longer, but the hospitals they won't let you. You have to do like a home birth in order to do that.
Yeah, the most they'll do is like the delayed, and that's even like maybe like 5 minutes. Like it's really not that much
Really?
longer that they do it for.
Yeah. It's it's also unique. So like this is made on the eighth circle. Well, Hari Krishna in Hindu wasn't. He was the eighth one born. He was the eighth child born. And then your Scorpio, your sexual, your reproduction. That's the eighth house of the zodiac.
Mm,
And then the H, the H is the eighth letter of the alphabet, which is like an 8 is an infinity sign. So
right.
like letters and numbers are connected. It's atomic language, atomic numbers is base 10 numbers. So they're one and the same.
Well, I mean, it makes sense too. Like when you're doing a lot of stuff, you only go like if you're trying to write it the alphabet, you only go 1 through 9.
Exactly.
You only go 1 through 9.
Yep. Yep. And then if
Okay.
because then like so 10, so this is the whole thing about 10.
Okay.
So 9 is divine completion like on earth, like all like in the Taurus field. But then 10 is one more. Well, what's that one more? Well, that's God or source. That's source creation. That's like the divine unity. That one more is 10. And then if Atlantis was known to have 10 rings,
Mm-hmm.
our Earth has 10 spheres above it. Each sphere has a planet from the moon all the way to Pluto. That's 10.
Oh,
It's
you
like
sent me something like that too. Where was it?
right there. So this is that's the true firmament is actually above the planets.
Right up here.
Yep. Yep. So then each one of these luminaries, this is the spiral graph it works within. So like they follow the spiral, but the only one that is different is the sun. The sun works through all of them, can go through all of them. But the sun, that's why Jesus said the only way to the Father is through me, because the sun's a portal. The sun's a portal to ascension or the next plane, whatever that is. I don't have the answer for, but
Right.
that's yeah.
So when you talk about the spark, so this is what you're talking about here. You sent this to me.
Yeah. So this is, I think, why we can't figure out if it's a globe, it's a ball, it's this or that.
Well, because this ties into how I think it is, because I
Exactly.
think like the Russian nesting dolls, like there's just these like like it's all these bubbles within bubbles. And like I
Yeah.
feel like the flatness is the actual physical plane, and then the spherical part, like this is that's that energy. That's that Taurus energy moving around. That's that plasma, those water, whatever it is, but it's
I
not, I don't think that it's, I just don't feel like we're going however fast chasing a sun.
no.
I just don't feel it.
No, if
But
no,
this
I heard
makes
you
sense.
say this actually on a live last week, and I was like, man, I want to, because I had been studying these maps, and I was like, I want to talk to her about this so bad because so many people, I don't know, like the whole flat thing, I feel like is leading down it's stationary. We're
Yeah.
stationary. It could be flat triangle for all we know. We could be spinning so fast that we're quantumly stuck in the middle, and we feel like we're not moving, even though, because we can't, I don't know, when it gets to quantum, I don't really even perceive, I don't really perceive it. But I go back to the days before they started changing things. And this time where they acted like it was the Renaissance or the Dark Ages. Well, look at the artwork in these maps.
So when you sent this to me, I was gonna message you and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll save it for the live. Do you have the Alchemy and Mysticism book?
I don't have the book. I think I have a PDF of it on my
So
computer.
I
Yeah.
have the book. And so like it's super interesting that you sent this to me because I'm like, I know that that's in that book. Like I've flipped through that. And there was this other one that I found in that book that I wanted to show you that kind of inspired, like, when I got this book, I saw it in there, and it was like kind of when I drew this, and I was like, holy fuck, I was right. And like this, so like this kind of makes the most sense to me here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like concave. Is that what that
Yeah.
is?
Well, yeah. And then like the energy, I don't know.
100%.
It made sense. And the fact that it's like the artwork was split, obviously, like this is a book of artwork, but like the artwork was split. It was just fascinating to me.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. I mean,
But yeah, that's 100% in here. I'm pretty sure I have it marked with obviously a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yes, we're
yeah.
on the same page in the same book.
Oh, we're definitely on the same page. But yeah, one of my best friends, he's got this book. A friend gave it to him or traded him. He didn't even know what he had. It's a Manly P. Hall like original. It's like 2 feet tall, and it's the full hermetic breakdown of every race, religion, culture, everything. And the one thing that stands out the most is it's pretty much all the same. It's the same story, the same symbology, and people have been killing each other for thousands of maybe millennia over this story. But it's what's in the stars is on Earth. But the more you find out, the more you find out you don't know. But concave Earth, I think, is the best representation of a stationary Earth inside of a torus field because it's being sucked in. And if you think about the moon theory, it being a reflection, well, that reflection is inverted. Well, our eyes are inverted. We see upside down and backwards. The moon reflection's upside down and backwards. Well, why wouldn't our sky, stars, or Earth be upside down and backwards? If maybe we're just in God's eyeball and everything is upside down and backwards.
Yeah, that is true. Because we studied that in photography when I took photography, and that's like because the cameras flip things. And
Yeah.
they did this study that they created these glasses that put things in their natural state of how they're originally perceived before your brain like processes the information. And it took 7 days for your brain to flip the image so that you're seeing it like it auto adjusts. So that
Really? Everything's a 7.
yeah, so that you're seeing it correct. I'm pretty sure it was 7 days. Like, don't quote me on that. I'm pulling shit from like high school right now, but like we're digging deep into the Rolodex of information. But like, yeah, but your brain will eventually like reprocess and adjust accordingly. But yeah, they did this. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, because that's how cameras work. That's why there's a
Yeah.
mirror in there with the shutter.
Right. And like, so you really don't see with these eyes, you see with your thalamus, like your optic thalamus, your third eye, like these are just the receivers.
Well,
And
because then
then
that goes into the whole theory of like everything just being relative to you perceiving it. Like the fact that
exactly.
this microphone and computer even exists right now is because my brain is telling it to, like, this desk is solid because my brain is going to perceive it as solid, but all it is a bunch of energy just converging together. And so as soon as I leave this shack, then does everything inside of it just disappear and turn into nothingness because I'm not here to actually see. Like, yo, I went down this whole fucking rabbit hole and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have to get like 14 cameras set up to like get
the
all of
double
the angles
slit
of this and like,
experiment.
yeah, like leave the room and
Yeah, no, it blows my mind because, okay, well, if it's only observable, if it's only matter when observed, but like how, I'm just vibrating at a dense level to be matter. And this table is just vibrating at a so supersonic level that I can cut it and sand it and stain it and build it. It just, that boggles my mind to it. I mean, I can't even think about comprehend. I'm a numbers guy. I'm not a, I don't
That's
know.
fine. You handle the math and figure out what 9 times 2 is. I'll go live in fairyland and figure out if like the trees actually make noise when they fall.
Right? Yeah. So like in the Bible, like there's mystic codes with numbers. So like 9 is consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So like in physical matter, it's like divine completion, but in the Bible or in Scripture, it's consciousness. So 144,000 saved. Well, 1 + 4 + 4 is 9. Well, 666. Well, 6 + 6 + 6 is 18. 1 + 8 is 9.
Right.
Well, in Egypt, a royal cubit was 18 inches. 1 and 8 is 9. You live an average of 72 years. 7 and 2 is 9. Average pH is 7.2. 7, it's just, there's a clear indicator there that like 9 is the number.
I feel like at some point, like when you start like lining everything up like that, you really just can't, like you can I no longer believe in coincidences, like ever. And I didn't really to begin with, but then when I started like doing a deep dive on all this stuff and, like every time I talk to somebody or like do research and like actually like line it up, like you're rattling through it right now, like this plus this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, this is 9. It's like, wow, well, damn. Like you really can't argue it at that point. You know what I mean?
No, a great year of the zodiac is 25,920 years. That breaks down to 9. Every zodiac house rules for 2,160 years. That breaks down to 9. It's all, that's why we can't have a 13-month calendar, because the universe of physical matter doesn't work with 13. It's a 12ness.
So is the 13 the circle then?
The 13 is you. It's the Jesus. It's the chrism. It's the hidden thing. That's the spirit.
It's the source.
Yes, it's the +1. The 9 to get to the 10 is +1. The 12 to the 13 is +1. It's that hidden item, and that's the feminine, divine feminine aspect. It's like a rainbow. You can see it, but you'll never land on it. It's not physical matter. It's light. Just like we are light beings, that's not acting, and that's acting in like a diamagnetic realm, not an electric realm.
What do you want to talk about next? This is just a lot to process. I'm rolling with it though. You sent me all sorts of stuff. What's this?
So go back to so this is like the ascension. So this is
okay. So what did you want me to go back to?
We can talk about whatever you want to talk.
We can talk about whatever you
want.
If you
go back to more where you one more. They're right there. The flat. Go back. There you go. Right there. So like this is a lot of people get this tattoo. This is an alchemy. This like the Islamic flag. Well, we are a 5-pointed star. So like that Da Vinci, right? Like you see he's a 5-pointed star. The man with the circle. It's squaring the circle. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the Neruvian man or whatever that is.
Okay.
It's the man. It shows you. It's like his Taurus field. Anyways, you're a 5-pointed star.
Like Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 2 arms, you have 2 legs, and you have 1 head. You're a 5-pointed star.
Hold on a second. I have a random poll for you. You know the famous Da Vinci man, right? Where he's spread out. How many? So is it 2 sets of arms and legs, or is it 3 sets of arms and legs?
It's 2.
You sure?
Yeah, because if it's 2 sets, you'll have 4 legs, 4 arms and 1 head, and that equals 9.
But so this is a Mandela effect because I remember like way back in the day it being 3 and 3. I'm just okay, comment
I
section.
wouldn't see. I
Who
wouldn't bet
remembers
money
3
on
and
it.
who remembers 2? Because I remember it being 3 sets of arms and 3 sets of legs, and now it's 2.
That's good. I'm pretty sure it's 2.
Does
But
3
then
work?
again, I mean, Kennedy was killed in a 6-seater car, and at the museum, it's a 4-seater now.
Yeah,
So
no, it's 4. No, now it's 6. It was supposed to be 4. Oh my God, we can't even. Oh my God, I got started. I only remember 2. Paul only remembers 2.
So the sun is what gives us life. Like when you're incarnated, you come through the sun, and when you die, you go through the moon. That's the mother. That's like the main mother source portal, the moon.
Right, because sun is masculine and moon is feminine.
Yep. And then so like you're a star, you fell from heaven, if you want to call it, you fell from grace. Well, when you were right side up, your head right side up, you're a 9. But then when you fall over, now you're a 6.
We're just sidebarring over here.
Oh, okay.
Now you're
Well,
a
that's
6.
69. That's like the sign of Cancer. That's the yin and the yang, a 6 and a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, when you fall down here, carbon is just one of the elements. It's not all, that's just one of them. But the 666 thing, that is just the 9. You're up, like, you're right side up. You're in the heavens. Well, and now you fell. So, like, the whole star and the moon, like this is Venus, because like Venus is another aspect of like the feminine mother. You have the Venus, the moon, and Mars. And that's why, and Mars rules Scorpio, which is the genitals. It's red, just like our blood. And it's there. Everything is symbolic for something.
It really is. And it's all fucking connected. Like the more you dive into this and the more you're like, well, yep. Okay. You're just like tying strings to all these. Oh no, did I just lose internet?
Hope not.
Am I back? Just keep rolling. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All my shit just fucking flashed real quick. I don't know what's going on. We're talking about, listen, Tony, just let me do my podcast.
So when you get into the alchemy, that's what's really mind-boggling, because it's obviously like it's mystic, right? It's written by Far East mystics, and it's deep. But where everything has a duality, so where the chakras work one way, they also work another. So just like you have the sun and the moon, physical, spiritual, your chakras operate physical and spiritual. So where Saturn rules like your lower mind on the physical nature, it's also the crown on the spiritual side. It's the crowned one, the Lord of the Rings.
Carbon is in all of life, and removing a carbon footprint is another way of saying murder.
Yeah. I think we can get to a level like we're not even carbon anymore. We're crystalline or quartz, or we can get away from all this carbon.
Well, because then that taps into what petrification really is, and the fact that all of these things were just like zapped in place, like those giant like rock like they're trying to tell us that they're rock formations, and they look like fucking elephants, and like ladies laying in the grass and shit, and like all these trees that were just chopped off, and they're trying to tell us that they're mountains. No.
Right? Yeah, like Monument Valley. Yeah, that stuff's, and especially when you look at that area, you have the Grand Canyon, Moab, Utah. You have the Monument Valley.
I'm convinced, like I will die on this hill, that the Grand Canyon was created from something fucking with electrical current. Because if you look at that, like anything like that isn't like that isn't what they tell us how it was formed. Like it looks identical to what they do when they shock the boards of wood with the jumper cables. You
Fractal. Yeah. Because everything in this universe is fractal. Our veins are fractal.
Yes.
And we're electrical. We're fractal. I completely agree with you. I think the pyramids were tapped into like the ley lines.
And 100%. 100%. There's so much of that shit that falls in with the ley lines. Like the portals, where the stargates are, where certain caves are. There's also, we were looking into like the ley lines lay over where a lot of these like undeveloped military bases are that are protected and like nobody can get to. It's intense. And the ley lines also line up with where the crop circles happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in the ocean. Like if you look through the ocean on Google Earth, like there's straight lines, converging lines, just like.
Did you see the one? Oh yeah. In the bottom of the ocean, it looks like fucking chemtrails in the bottom of the ocean is what it looks like, right? And if you look at the Bermuda Triangle, it's actually the ley lines form a fucking triangle.
Yeah.
And my screen is flashing again, and my Wi-Fi just fucking went. I keep getting Wi-Fi warnings that I'm losing internet.
Every time that I get on a good live, since I've started this, I get on a good roll on a live, I either get banned or they get turned off. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Hey, it just means that we're saying some fucking shit right here.
Right.
All right.
Well, so one of these maps, it shows the eclipses on a flat Earth map, and it actually forms the 10-point Kabbalistic tree.
Did you send it to me?
It's an old map. It's like an old school map. But there's little circles on it.
Ah, I found it.
But yeah, I think these are the portals. And then so I don't think I shared it with you. It's not that one. There's one other one.
It's
but
the
yeah,
other
I
one?
completely agree with you on the portals because I found some newspaper articles talking about what and maps and newspapers, and it explains. Yeah, there's that man we were talking about. See, look,
it was 3, dude. It was definitely 3, like 100%.
You almost had me talked into it because I wouldn't bet money on it now.
Yeah, no, there's another one that comes right here, and then there's another leg right here on both sides. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see.
You know what? I think you're right.
Hold on. What is this? Da Vinci. I don't even know how the fuck to spell that. 3 legs, 3 arms. I'm just typing random shit in fucking Google. we're just gonna hope for the best here.
And so when Da Vinci, so you see the square and the circle in this. This is squaring the circle. Well, in the middle of the Vesica Pisces that we talked about at the very beginning, the ratio is √3 mathematics. Well, how do you square the circle? √3 mathematics.
So why would it not be 3 then?
That's why I'm trying to say you're right. I completely agree.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I'm fucking.
You're blowing my mind.
I don't find it on this live.
I'm gonna blow my mind.
I'm gonna hunt for it. I'm gonna have to like type in Mandela effect. We're gonna do this on the live. I don't even care right now. I'm gonna find it. God damn it.
I forgot I'm on live. So let's see. Is anybody are we having 2 sets or 3 sets of arms and legs? I gotta know. It's
supposed to be 3. I swear it's supposed to be 3.
2.
I'm just getting a whole bunch of other shit. Let's see. Da Vinci, Mandela. Let's take this word out. We're gonna figure this out. Autocorrect is failing. It's not even giving me what like 3 would look like. Like I feel like we should have come on. Somebody help me out here. If anybody has this image, like, can you send it to me on Telegram? Because I swear to God, it was 3. All right, we're gonna have to move on. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into the fucking internet to find that shit.
Yeah, you're blowing my mind because now that you say that, I do feel like
you can
not
see
the legs so much, but the arms. I feel
right.
And so that would be
Would that work? So what would the math be on that? Then if it was 3,
6, 8, 10, 12. It'd be 12. It'd be perfect because it'd be 12 zodiac house, and then your head. That's the 13th sign. That's the 13th cranial nerve. When that Kundalini burst open, like that is what the 13 is all about.
All right, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna type in one more thing. God, I'm stuck on this now.
You're blowing. Yeah, that's good shit right there. Especially in the middle of the Vesica Pisces. Like the Vesica Pisces is a vagina. Like you come in through the world through a Vesica Pisces. Well, in the middle of that is two triangles, 2 equilateral triangles. And the spaces on the outside is the golden ratio. Like all this math is perfectly embedded into every atom, every cell.
It's got to be 3. It's got to be.
That's a new one for me.
It's not pulling it. I'm going to find it. I might not find it right now, but I'm going to find it and I'll send it to you. I promise.
Right.
And then you know what? I'll bring you on a live and I'll be like, listen, I found it.
Hey,
All
I
right.
hope you do. I hope you do.
Because I swear it was 3. Okay, when I was a kid learning this, it was 3 legs and 3 arms. It was 3. See, I got more people agreeing. Like it was 3. All right. What was the other thing that you sent me that I wanted to talk about? Hold on a second. Where did it go? This. I like this. What is this?
So this is a map from like the 1500s about just documenting the moon. So they have known what these structures are for a long time. But what I like to point out is these moon craters. So I can't remember the guy's name who's all about, Egypt and Kemet. He's like the New Age. I can't remember his name, man. Anyways, he talks about the moon and there's a base on the moon, and that's the next thing to do is drilling on the moon and mining the moon. Well, if you look at every one of these craters, they are all the same depth. The moon is not drillable. It is not a structure like we consider it like dirt we can dig down. These craters are all the same depth. No, and we only see one face at all times. Nothing about the moon makes sense.
Like, why doesn't it, if everything is rotating, how come the moon doesn't rotate?
Right, exactly. Yeah, why? And then on the way they say how it was formed and came into our orbit, I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Are you talking about the Maldek War?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, and then it happens to be the same size as the sun. Oh, in comparison, right, with the distance and then all those numbers. I mean, all that is just witchcraft or black magic, energy manipulation, like all these like all this number, and it's just NASA. NASA is everything but the T to be Satan. That's why they say T minus. Because NASA.
See, I thought they said T minus because if you take the T away from planet, it becomes a plane and they're leaving it.
No, they say T minus because they're Satan and it's NASA, NAS.
I mean, both.
I think it's both. But I mean, it's a planet. Yeah, it's a plane.
So,
yeah.
So what you're saying is that all these little holes right here, they're all the same depth.
Yeah, they never can get any deeper than like there's some like valleys here and there, but whatever these are formed from, I wish I had somebody that could translate this Latin for me, because most of this stuff is in like some of the German stuff I can read, but the Latin I don't know.
I may or may not know somebody that can translate Latin, so I will get back to you on that because I have a bunch of shit in Latin too that I'm like, I know I can like some of it maybe if I take some time with it, but it's a lot.
So yeah, Vitruvian Man 3, Da Vinci 2. So I think it just depends on what drawing you look up is what it'll show is what I'm reading. But yeah, on the moon, that other, it's perfectly synced. Your cycle. You have a 7-day week. You have 7-day phases or 7-day cycles. 4 and 4 or 7 and 7 is 14. And that's half the moon cycle. But when Osiris in Egypt, when he was killed by his brother Set, he was chopped up into 14 pieces. And the original Vitruvian Man, when it was drawn, was segmented into 14 pieces. So like man is the measure of the universe. And there was a video released by a Freemason, I think a few years ago, that kind of talked about like the whole flat earth, like disk, the sun and the moon. I mean, they're the same size and the same distance away. Just one's magnetic and one is diamagnetic.
Right. Oh, my can just dinged. All right. I want to look at.
Oh, but yeah, the whole like all these old maps, if you look at in the corners, like the drawings, they all there's like codes in them. Like you can see the artist is being made. Like he'll be holding something flat, or he'll be pointing at something in the like. There's codes in the maps, like telling like, "Hey, they're making us do this."
Yeah. There's also like in this alchemy book, like there's almost like these keys and like these hidden words that it's almost like a I spy, like a scavenger hunt. Like you have to know what you're looking for in order to find it. And it's like because they were being forced to dictate art in such a way. I mean, this even goes back to the Egyptians, where one of the kings, I cannot remember his name, was having all of the art and all of the imagery changed
Yeah.
to
Akhenaten.
yes, to reflect something different than what it was, because he didn't like the way that he looked and he wanted it to be portrayed a different way.
Yeah.
And then after he was removed from his place, they changed it all back. So
Yeah.
I think that in this ancient art, in this switch over time is what I'm going to call it, they were being forced to fake this art and fake these drawings and these pictures, and then there were these keys and these clues that they were leaving, like, hey,
100%.
this
Yeah.
isn't what's true.
Yeah. That's that. The whole this Saint Patrick driving the snakes out of Ireland was driving the old wisdom keepers out of the Celts, the Celtic tradition. The
Yeah.
gypsies were based off from Egypt. They were the nomads that fled Egypt because that Christian revolution of claim Jesus or die.
hmm
And it's I completely agree
And
with
that,
you.
like, I was reading this thing or watching it. I can't remember. Did I read it or watch it? I can't remember. It might have been both. I might have researched it after I watched it. But like that, like the whole Irish thing, like when they got the snakes out, it what like they're not even drunks. Like that was a whole thing that was created to build that divide, and then it just got adapted, and they fell into the
100%.
hijacked
Yes.
thing.
I found it. I'll send you these news articles if you look at them. But with the giant ones that I sent recently, there's a news article that says that this is like after something had happened. It talked about how the West was on fire, but it said that they want to populate San Francisco, Santa Barbara, and Monterey, being the first three civilized cities. And he requests that they are filled with 2,000 to 4,000 Irish
hmm
because they're in line with their religious beliefs. They're great workers and sober.
hmm
And it specifically says sober. Like that's why they were chosen. And you look like we're all the Irish. They were just the Pope is. It went on and talked about the Pope landed here in 1492. Well, the Pope, his first attempt at a full eradication of the people was in 1493. 1 year later.
Yeah, and
And
like the last of the original like Knights Templar before that and the Freemasons got hijacked was like 1113 or something like that.
yeah, like this plan has been like when you say
All the way in the beginning.
1777, like no, like,
No,
we're
it's
talking.
I want to go back to 1113. Fuck 1777
Yeah, yeah.
or
In
76.
in my book for Manly P. Hall, he's got it's a Indian burial site in like Arizona, one of like the Incans or whatever, like some of them older tribes. But in there, they found a compass and square, like a Masonic compass and square. So it just, I mean, Freeman, it's been around, I think, maybe forever. It's like the league of just who you have a good elite and a bad. You have the bad, and they fight. I don't know. I still don't
Well,
know the answer to
I
them.
really do believe it's like anything that gets hijacked. I mean, even any position, any group of people, anything that is set up, there's always going to be those bad apples in the bunch, right? There's always going to be those people that go into it with malicious intent, with selfish reasoning, and the negativity and the bullshit is always louder, right? It's always
Right.
going to be louder. So that's always going to be the shit that you're going to hear. And this has been years of programming and word association and just constant push of one side of the story, that you can't even say Freemasons or Knights
Right.
Templar without them immediately going to this negative mind space. But if you actually look it up and do the fucking research,
Yeah.
Freemasons, their whole thing was about being separate from any sort of religious belief and being trapped into any one thing, which is why they would go around and they would hand build, they were Masons, they would hand build these buildings so that people could go and worship in their own way. It
Yeah.
wasn't associated with anything.
Yeah. I mean, there's letters from George Washington that talks about he believed at the time that they had been infiltrated or there was plots about. and he clearly was a Freemason. But I completely agree with you that they were overtaken, or there's good and there's bad. But
Mm-hmm.
the original, I mean, it goes back a long, like the Illuminati was created in 76.
The
But like all
Illuminati gets spoken about in Egyptian culture. Like the Illuminati is to be illuminated, is to be
right.
enlightened. And that was even hijacked because they got access to this universal consciousness and they drank from this elixir. And now they're trying to hoard it all for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what Lucifer. I mean, it's just the morning star. All this is symbolic. It's about light, enlightenment. We're enlightened beings, and we're supposed to be enlightened. And like the medical staff is only one of the energies. It's only one. It's the masculine. It's missing the feminine. They give you just a little bit of truth. Like they got the caduceus staff, but it's missing a piece.
Yeah.
It's missing this, it's missing that. And
yeah, we're going to give you the swastika, but it's going to be inverted with a completely different meaning.
Right.
Yeah, when really it maps the fucking stars and was one of the original compasses, but we won't get into that. That's a whole other live and we don't got time.
Yeah, I know that. That goes over like a lead balloon, right? Like, no, that's not Nazi. That's Hindu, and it's like
it's not even
years
German
old.
for Christ's sake.
Right.
Oh my God! This is a great live. We're coming right at the top of the hour. We didn't even get through all of the. No, I'm gonna look for the three. I'm gonna fucking find it, and we're gonna put both of them together, and we're gonna take a fucking poll because
Dude,
God damn it, I remember three.
Find that map, that flatter, the 10 circle map I sent you. Can you find that?
The 10 circle map.
Yeah, that was like the eclipses. They show the eclipses, I think.
The old map again?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you have that or not? Never mind. It's all right. It's all good. Wait, there's another one
that you sent me.
Yeah, maybe that one right there. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me zoom in.
So these are
with a little blurry, but that's all right.
Yeah, this is an old. Yeah. And so like this is 360 degrees. Everything is based off of that circle, and then Polaris at the very top. That is the very tip of the like the Freemason's compass.
Well, this is the tree of life.
Exactly, and it's 10 fingers. Your Kabbalah tree of life, and that's also these are the eclipses, and the eclipses they happen every 18 months. 1 and 8 is 9. 18 is the number of when you're an adult. 18 is the cubit, and 18 inches is also the length of your spinal column.
And here's your spiral your graph here.
Exactly.
Right,
and every one of those planets, like not every planet is a perfect circle over each other. It's a gyroscope.
Right.
Just like it's a gyroscope in 3D, but in 2D it's spirograph. And they had all this mapped out in the 1500s.
This is it's just a lot to take in.
Right. But it's
well, this just it's a lot of like confirmation, and like it makes sense, and it's really cool to come at it from like a completely different angle. And honestly, like some of this stuff, like I looked up right in the beginning, and like it's been a while since I've looked into this particular subject, and so it's been nice to kind of like touch back on it again. But listen, we're definitely going to have to do more shows because we got a lot more shit to talk about. And this has been great. So on that note, I think that's enough for we're going to chew on this and digest for a little bit. But thank you so much for your time tonight and coming on and clicking the clickables and doing the things. So it is real. You can click the clickables to be on the show because that's what you did. And I'm very excited that you did. This was definitely a vibe. Thank you all so much for showing up in the comments and coming to the lives. I know you were also live on TikTok for this as well.
Yes.
All of the links for everything will be in the show notes. So thank you guys so much again. This was fantastic. This was awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. Just a couple shout outs. James with Double O, thank you so much for the music, for the intros and the exits here. I want to thank Goose with Here to Chew Bubblegum. Make sure you check that show out Sunday mornings at 9:30 right here on the Flocking Network. And a special shout out to our sponsors, Static and Noise. All of these can be found in the channels tab, and make sure you guys check out that community tab because sometimes I do post shit in there. If you're interested in Flockfest, we got like 158 days until that happens. There is a clickable for that if you do want to attend, so make sure you check that out. And along with that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. My numbers are all off, so I have no idea who's done what. So just go ahead and hit that like button while we're closing up here. Yeah, it flew by. It flew by. I couldn't believe that we were almost at an hour already.
I know. It's like it felt like Saturday. Yeah.
I know. I was like, all right, we're gonna come on. We're gonna do like a 15-minute sound check. It's gonna be good. An hour and 10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, we should have recorded that. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned.
Have a good
more
night.
to come
Thank you.
and flock around and find out. Hang out for me 1 second after the credits roll. All right, Derek?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.